What is up, Tampa Bay? Good evening and welcome to another episode of Living in Tampa Live. Tonight, we're talking about what's happening in Tampa Bay. We're excited to be with you tonight. It is our second week back, my second week back since vacation. Excited to be here with y'all and my lovely co-host. If you've never been here before, welcome. You're in the right place. We talk all things Tampa Bay, whether you're a local or someone who just wants to know what's happening here in Tampa Bay. You have come to the right place. We talk about everything from the best restaurants to what's happening in the local real estate market. And we're going to get you up to speed on all things in here, Tampa. Excited to talk about that tonight. And I'm with these amazing ladies this evening. I've got Miss Stacy Amon up in Pasco County. Good evening, Stacy.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is a hot, sticky, stormy night here in Pasco County.
It is summer in Florida is what she just said. Well, I'm an interpreter too, by the way, in case you need to know. And we're also joined by the lovely and talented Miss Marsha Railton down in Manatee County, who serves Manatee and Sarasota. Good evening, Marsha.
Hi, everyone. It's storming here as well. And I was just telling clients that are here from Portland, Oregon yesterday how gorgeous the weather is here and how it hardly ever rains. It's poured the last 2 days or the last 2 evenings.
Yeah. Absolutely. I picked up the family from the airport today and I documented it, by the way, because the video editors were like, hey, next time you go to the airport, make sure you document it. That way people know how long it takes. And so I did. I went and picked up the family. My kids have been gone from home for a month, like literally.
Wow.
So we were gone for 3 weeks, and then we left them in Michigan with the grandparents. My wife was more than happy to do that. She was like, sure, we'll come back. And then she flew up and picked them up. Her flight, she was supposed to go on Saturday, but her flight was delayed. Like I'm sure a lot of your flights have been delayed over the last, since Friday. But her flight was canceled Saturday morning, so she ended up going back Sunday evening, and then I picked her up and the kids today. I took them to eat in Tampa. We're going to talk about that because we had a great burger. I'm going to share with you guys where we went. But I fed them, and all 3 of them were asleep in the car, before we even made the bridge to come over. And then as we were coming back, it was pouring rain. And I mean pouring buckets, right? And like you could see it. What's really cool about living here, I think, is, people talk about how flat Florida is, and that's true. But one of the unique things that occurs because of that is if you get any elevation at all, you can see so far ahead of you, right? And as we were coming up to the Howard Franklin Bridge, and that's the main bridge that goes across from Tampa to Pinellas County. And that bridge is like 7 miles long. 7 miles. It's long. It's very long. And you can see, and we could see this huge rainstorm over the bay, and it looked like it was going to be just over the little hump in the middle there, Marsha.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of Pinellas County before we got rained on at all.
Wow.
But man, it was pouring buckets. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And then we got home, and we were about a mile away from the house, and not a drop. I was like, we didn't get any of that rain. So it is looking threatening right now, but we'll see how that goes. But
well, we're sure getting it. I thought it was really interesting yesterday, that family that I spent the day with, who were so wonderful. I had such a good day, but they were like jumping every time it thundered, and they said they hardly ever hear thunder. It's like, if they do hear thunder, it's a long ways away. It's not like it is here. I think it like unnerved them a little bit. It was scary sound because you know how close it is here. It's like it sounds like it's happening right there above you. So they're like, oh my gosh. So it was funny. The things you don't think about.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Forgive me for stepping on you there. It's different for sure. And I just want to shout out to everybody who's watching us on Instagram tonight as well, on Facebook, all the platforms you guys are watching us. Love to connect with y'all, and excited to share this evening. We're going to get obviously in the weeds here. I want to say hello to everyone who's already said hello to us. We invite you to connect with us as well. One of the things that we love about hosting these lives is how interactive it is with you. All right. So whether you're local or you're long distance, let us know where you're watching from. It's super valuable. We love staying connected to you. There is quite the community that has grown here over the last year and a half. And we're excited to say hello. Good evening, Kevin, my man, out in Lakeland. he's the OG. Kevin is literally one of the very first viewers of these live streams, and he's been wonderful. It's been great to have him. Carl out in the Big Island. They're soon to be here local. I mean, right around the corner from me. So I'm excited for you and the Mrs.
Hi, Carl and Mary.
Absolutely. Carl and Mary were wonderful. They were a great time on the Zoom, and they came and just crushed it. They knew exactly what they wanted. And they got it done.
They were awesome. I'm excited for them to move here. You know, Carl told me he grew up here, and he was in the marching band in school. And apparently, Walt Disney chose 2 kids from every high school for their opening, their first parade in Disney World, and he was in that parade.
Oh wow!
That was so cool. They're very interesting, very fun couple. I really enjoy spending time with them, so I'm excited. He had lots of stories about Pinellas County growing up in it, so it was fun.
That's fantastic. Love the share there. Chris, what's up, my brother? Hopefully you and Angie are doing great. He says, hey there, team. It's great to see you. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all there are at home doing amazing. We are doing amazing. He said he drove through the storms. Yeah, me and you both, apparently. Locked out in Lithia. We've been
they're here now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Over a month now, I think. Or right about that time. We're coming right up around that time. Yeah, because they took possession of their property before I left for vacation. So it's probably about 6 weeks.
Okay, good. Welcome.
Yeah, no doubt, right? He says we've been having storms every day for a week, not just rain, storms. That's a Tampa thing, man. Like that, it's part of the we get to see a lot of lightning here. That's another beautiful thing too. I remember the first time I drove over the Clearwater Causeway on a stormy lightning night, and it was one of the most breathtaking things I'd ever seen in my entire life. To see that lightning come out of the sky over the Gulf of Mexico and light up the entire city, it was unbelievable. It was one of those things, like you said, unnerving early, Marcia. When I was new to the area, it definitely was an adjustment. I've shared that story before, like of how like the first night we were here, it stormed like that, and I was like, I thought the house was being removed from the planet, right? And then my lovely, wonderful, wiser than I am neighbor who is well into her years. That's the words I'm going to use straight out of the Bible. Well into her years. She comes over the next morning, Marcia, knocks on the door to introduce herself. And she's like, I just wanted to make sure you guys were okay. And I'm standing there like, I probably didn't sleep. I don't know how I looked, right? And I'm like, yeah, we're okay. Why? And she was like, I know the storms can be a little interesting when you first get here. She's like, we moved from Wisconsin. You know, they were one of the first 3 houses built in the neighborhood. The whole story, right, from the 70s. She's like, but I remember my first summer here and what an adjustment it was. And it was just what a wonderful conversation. And I'm like, look, if this lady can take it, so can I. Right. So like, it's time to man up. I got it. So it was one of those moments, but it's just different, right? Like the lightning is prevalent. The thunder is loud. Like we actually use the lightning map now. Kate uses it all the time, right? Because it's hard to gauge where these storms actually are, because of how vast everything looks, because how flat it is. And it's important.
What did you use? I'm sorry. What did you say that Kate uses?
The lightning maps, right? Because the kids are in pools too. Our kids swim.
Oh.
Right. So there's a lot of importance to that. But I'm sure the soccer fields were the same way when you had access to them. Like you're always keeping an eye on weather.
It's kind of like the tornado warnings. We have the lightning warnings instead of tornado warnings.
Right, which is good.
Like the sirens that would go off, back home.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Once a month on Saturday when we lived in Metro Detroit, they would test the tornado alarm system. So that was always interesting. But yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for sharing that. That's what's up. Waiting to hear about this burger. I got you, man. We're going to go to that first. I'm not going to gatekeep. We're going to go to that first. I just want to say hello to everyone. So bear with us. I'm going to share some great burgers I've had and the one that I had today, because we tried something new, and I wanted to share that with you. Kiara, good evening.
Hi, Kiara.
Good evening. It's good to see you. All right. What do you say? Chris said that they are going to hit 2 months next week, so I knew I was close there. We were really close. Okay. let's get into this best burger. All right. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Googler. Right. I'm a Googler. Well, the wife and I are foodies. Heck, even the kids are foodies. When we go to restaurants, people are always amazed. They're always like, "Hey, do you want the kids menu?" And I'm like, "No, our kids like they're looking for the real deal, right? Like my son will eat octopus, right? So like they'll try stuff. And part of that has just been on a necessity because we wouldn't put like macaroni and cheese and chicken strips on the table. And that is, I'm not saying that anybody's doing anything wrong by doing that. I'm just sharing. Like we always just ordered what we ordered and the kids ate, and so they're very adventurous when it comes to food, which is really cool. There are some things they won't touch, but for the most part, they're pretty adventurous. But I'm a Googler, right? Like I love to get on and best this, right, and try something out. And I don't know about you ladies, but like we're creatures of habit. Human beings are for the most part, and I know Kate and are too. Once we get something we love, we're always like, oh, do we really want to try something new? Right?
And risk not liking it.
That's right. Right. It's like it's not even about the food necessarily, Marcia, because like not everything's going to be a 10. That's the way life works, and that's okay, right? But sometimes you go to places and not only do they have excellent food, but they have an excellent experience, right? They have an excellent experience. And that is what we're afraid of missing most of the time more than anything else. And I don't know if anyone else has been in this situation. If you're watching this and you've ever been in this situation, let me know. You're willing to overlook food that may not be amazing because the service is awesome every time you go. Has anybody ever gone to that? The greasy spoons are usually known for that, right? The little mom and pop diners where like you go in and like, they're not using the highest quality ingredients, but Faye behind the counter is one of the most incredible human beings you've ever met, knows exactly how your coffee needs to be made, knows when your kids' birthdays are, those types of things, right? Has anybody, you ladies ever been anything like that? Or is any of you in the audience?
I have to say I'm more about the atmosphere than the service. When I go somewhere, I have to like my surroundings. I don't like to go somewhere and eat and feel like I'm not digging what I'm seeing. I just feel like I waste my moolah when I do that.
I agree. It's part of the experience, right?
Yeah,
I love that.
I don't go out to eat real often. So when I do, I want to enjoy it, so part of it for me, or a lot of it for me, is enjoying the atmosphere.
I agree. And the company. Right. So
yes,
I love that. So I'm going to share this with you, with y'all, and show you exactly how we found this place. We were going to go to one of the places we know we're comfortable with. Right. Well, when I picked them up from the airport, the kids all wanted a burger, and I'm good, but we're in Tampa. I haven't eaten everything in Tampa. I don't know about you guys, but it's hard to eat everywhere where you live. It's just difficult to do. So I went in, I typed in best burgers in Tampa, the same thing you guys got here. And the very first thing that pops up is Tampa Burger Company. It's a 4.9. You know how hard it is to have a 4.9 rating in service? And I was like, time out, right? Kate and I looked at it. I was like, we got to go give this a try. It was an extra 15 minutes out of the way. It was in South Tampa, right off of Howard, South Howard. And we would go give it a try. And there's this little place tucked into a corner. I'll show you some photos here in a minute. But again, 4.9. I was like, all right, I'm going to go check it out. I've been to Goody Burger. That's down in Hyde Park Village. It's excellent. Also, really cool art deco and decor down there. That is an awesome place. But we went over to the Tampa Burger Company. So I'm going to show you some photos in here. I didn't read any of the reviews. I just saw that it was 4.9 and over 100. That's pretty good, right? And you can just see some of the stuff here. Oh, and this is so funny that this came up because I didn't read any of this, but now I know why. Check out these burgers, man. And they've won best burger in Tampa with a French onion burger. Now, I didn't try that one, but yeah, it was like onion straws and Swiss cheese and the whole thing. It looked amazing. They had a Shula burger at one point, and they've got a special sauce like everybody else. But here, let me get to the menu real quick. See if they got it. I have it in there. We'll get back to it in a second. So, ladies, we walk into this place, and let me go to their website. We walk into this place, and we're the only ones because it's 3:00 in the middle of the day. There's nobody in there yet. Lady greets us, and she is wonderful right out of the rip. Big smile, super nice. And I've had some real stinkers lately of like people who were like basically offended that I was there to spend money. So I feel like Starbucks has been a giant contributor to that recently on our world tour we did, but this place was awesome. And the person that was there was absolutely incredible. It's like we got one on here. No menu on the website. Okay, let me get back to this. So we go in, we order some burgers. I had the spicy burger. Kate had some wings. The kids had the standard burger, which is apparently their specialty. And they were great. And there was this lady there by the name of Mo. She was the only person working, cooked it up. She cooked the burgers, brought them out to us, and you order at the counter. So I wasn't expecting that, right? But she brings them out to the table. We're the only one there. And she was super nice. We ate everything. It was great. And then she walks over. She's like, I would love to buy the kids a milkshake. And I was like, time out, lady. No, we'd all just pounded all the food, right? Like, and she was like, "Can I do that? Can I get one?" I was like, "You can get one for all three of them," because we're not a huge fan of like giving the kids a bunch of sugar, right? So like, but of course, then they got to argue about what it's going to be. They all settled on the Oreo. Well, she comes back over, 3 straws in it, of course. Yeah, I know. Well, what a nice touch, right? And it's got chocolate drizzled all over the top and an Oreo cookie stuck, and the kids loved it. Her name was Mo, M-O, right? And I just opened up this review, and this is why I said, like, I think it's awesome. And of course, her name's on here, right? If you read the comments, I'll read them to you because I know it's small. It says, best burger you can have. Any choice of burger is great. 5 stars. Probably the best burger I've ever had. Very good. Lovely food and lovely staff. Mo is the best. She helped a lot. I agree. My stuff's not on here, but I will be adding to this list. If you are in Tampa, go to South Tampa, go to the Tampa Burger Company. That was a wonderful experience. The burger was great, but the experience was even better. All right, so that's my recommendation. It's a heavy one. It's a heavy one, but I want to make sure I share that with you guys because it was fantastic. South Howard, it's just south of 275 there. Go down, apparently ask for Mo because she's the cat's meow. All right, so no gatekeeping here. Best burger in Tampa. Again, subjective, but it was an outstanding experience. So I'm happy to share that.
Fries? Do they have fries?
Shoestring, Marcia.
Okay.
They were nice. We had the onion rings, the shoestring fries, the wings with the like hot honey barbecue, the spicy burger, the standard burger, I think is what they call it.
And a shake. Oh my God, no wonder they all fell asleep.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. They were just done. And they're still sleeping on the couch right now. I picked them up. We were finished eating at 4:00.
Oh my goodness.
They're wiped out. But yeah, so that was an awesome experience. Speaking of great dining experiences, Marcia, where else did we go eat this week? I didn't even think to talk about this, but let's talk about it.
Oh, we met at the Canopy rooftop for drinks on Saturday. And then we went right underneath that to the restaurant. And I think it was called, it was Birchwood, but it's Birch and Vine.
Birch and Vine.
Yeah, Birch and Vine.
Birch and Vine. The Birchwood is a hotel and a convention center. It's a small one, but it's awesome. I went to an event there in January. And the Canopy is the rooftop bar, and that place is awesome. Marcia, can you describe it to him? I don't want to steal your thunder here.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, you go up in the elevator. I believe it's on the 8th floor, and the door opens, and it's just very elegant feeling to me. They have canopies that you can reserve, that you can go inside. But the thing that I love is they have these long sofas. They have the fire pits. And you're overlooking the pier and the water, and there's sailboats and motorboats, and you can see the Vinoy Hotel, and it's just gorgeous. Downtown St. Pete. It's just beautiful.
Stunning. The views are incredible, and you can dine right there on the rail. It's awesome. It's a great place to go hang out. Worth checking out, y'all. If you have not been there before, do yourself a favor. You won't be disappointed. The restaurant was the Birch and Vine, and we had a good dining experience there. I don't have anything to complain about.
No, it was very good. The food was delicious.
Kate said, this is what she said, by the way. My wife used to work in fine dining and steakhouses. She goes, the menu reminded her of steak and ale. Like it had not been changed since they originally opened it, but it was super nice, y'all. Hundreds of wines. They had a ton of wine selections. The cocktails were wonderful. The food was prepared excellent. We had really good service. There's valet there. It's right outside. When you're done, you can just go walk around St. Pete. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out. Menu is great. Like I said,
We
food
used
was
to
good.
go to St. Pete a lot. And then when COVID hit, like just for dinner and drinks and things, we haven't been doing it. I'm so glad that we did it because it made Stephen and I both say we got to do that more often. It's just like we were talking, it's more like an event than just driving to a restaurant, eating and coming home right away. It's just much more fun. So
Very much so. I agree. St. Pete is a vibe, y'all. We've discussed this before in real time. I won't get away from that. I think it's one of the best cities in America, to be honest with you. I travel. So that's not saying something that I can't back up with not going other places. There are lots of wonderful places, but St. Pete has a thing about it. It's really, really awesome. What did we have that night? We had the smoked fish dip. I'm going to give that like almost a 9 out of 10, probably like 8.8 out of 10.
that was delicious.
It was the ribeye carpaccio. It was good, but I wouldn't put that up there. I'm gonna give that like an 8. It wasn't prepared improperly or anything like that. Just didn't have the flavor I was looking for there. We had mussels; those were nice as well. I'd probably give that like an 8.5 out of 10. Really, really nice on that. What did you have for your entree, Marcia?
Stephen and I split the salmon. We had so many appetizers that we decided to split the salmon, and it was phenomenal.
Good. And yeah, there was a lot of appetizers on the plate. And then we had the Delmonico, which essentially is a ribeye. For those of you who may not be familiar, it was cooked perfectly, seasoned very well. No disappointments on that. So it was great. And welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome to Food Talk on what's happening in Tampa Bay. But hey, man, people ask, right? Like they're asking in the chat. Chris wanted to know. We wanted to share with you. Let us know where you're watching from. We shared the best burger tonight, and we just shared what a great dining experience we had at the Birch and Vine down in St. Pete. And it was incredible, right on the water there. It's not a disappointment. It was amazing. I had a wonderful experience. We took a client who moved to Safety Harbor out there, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? It was fantastic. So they had a great time. Stories were great. Man, what a cool experience.
They gave us a lot of suggestions for restaurants in Safety Harbor, so we'll have to get a list of them because I think they go out to eat a lot, so they have some good suggestions.
Yep. Yeah. That's great. I love that. Well, we're going to get into what's happening in and around the Bay Area here now, so you guys can start to wrangle your minds. Both of these ladies have been sitting on stuff that they've had prepared, but the Q&A sessions we get into are usually like super beefy. Y'all have the most amazing questions, and we're grateful for that. We want to continue to invite you to ask your questions about living here in Tampa or the developments or whatever it is. Don't hesitate to do that. You can put that in the chat while we're live or in the comments later. I respond to all legitimate questions, just so you guys know. Okay, so we're going to get into that. We're going to go up to Pasco County tonight. We're going to head down to Manatee County tonight. And we're going to talk a little bit about real estate because the real estate numbers from June just got released today. And it's time to start having some conversations. Let me tell you right now, because I was shocked, and I'm going to get to that. I'm going to share with you why here, but something happened for the first time in the last 4.5 years. So I'm very interested to see how everybody responds. Okay. Before we move on to that, Chris did have a comment. He said, if you want some great crab cakes, which who doesn't, I highly recommend Charlie's Steakhouse. Yes, absolutely. Charlie's is amazing. They're about to open a second location up by the stadium, too. So that's exciting. What's up, Denise?
Hi, Denise. Her house is almost ready. It's getting so close.
I've heard this a couple times.
So close.
Hopefully we're getting closer. That's good. I'm excited. Have you been in it recently, Stacy?
I was in it last week. I stopped by and took some pictures. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to see that too.
I love
Right.
her cabinets, and her backsplash that she picked was amazing.
What
Now-
what do they look like?
Well, it's like, well, she could probably do a better job describing it, but it had like a gold trim to it. So it was white with the gold trim. I think it's more like a herringbone laid out.
Yeah.
And of course, she had a pot filler that was like a requirement
Nice.
everywhere we went. So yeah, it looks really, really nice. And the cabinets are, yeah, I can't wait to see it all together.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Now I have a question for you ladies. Does it make us old that we appreciate a pot filler, or is that a recognition of our sophistication? That's what I would like to know.
Sophistication.
Yeah.
That's right,
Yeah,
Masha. I love it.
definitely.
I'm going to hang my hat on that one.
I think Denise would be offended if you were calling her old.
Well, the very first time I was introduced to a pot filler when I was working in the corporate kitchens, right? And I remember walking into the back of house one time, and like it was when I was at PF Chang's, and we had an industrial wok, like a huge wok, and like this giant like kitchen setup in the back prep area. And I remember seeing this thing on the walls, like, what is that? And the guy pulls it off he grabbed the wok spoon and pulls it off and starts filling this pot. And I was like, that's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm like, you don't have to carry it from the sink to over here. He's like, no, it's pot filler. I was like, dude, and I was like 23 years old. I'm like, I think that's really cool. Right. So I just remember seeing that. And the first time I saw it in somebody's house, I thought they were the richest people on the planet. I was convinced. I was like, those people are wealthy. They're so wealthy. I can't imagine what it's like to have a pot filler there. And now I'm like, that is the pinnacle of owning a kitchen. You just gotta have one, right? Like so when I walk into a kitchen and I see that, that's how you know how serious the person is in the kitchen, right?
Yes,
if they got a pot filler, most likely the knives are sharp. If the knives are sharp, you're probably getting a good meal. Listen, you like my line of thinking? Listen, I'm a foodie, man. I'm tracking all the sources. I want them sniffing it out. If somebody can cook and they can do it well, I'm gonna know, right?
Yeah.
You'd be very disappointed if you came to my house to eat, because I have no pot filler and I don't think I have a sharp knife in my house.
Oh,
even our scissors aren't sharp.
Oh man, but you cook a mean pizza, so we got that going.
Oh, that we do.
Right?
Yes.
There you go. We got that going on. All right. Congratulations on that closing date too, Denise. That's fantastic. What up, friends? Checking in from Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the home of flight. Literally, that's where the Wright brothers took that airplane to get that thing off the ground. Was the Kitty Hawk. Hit belly button and click like. I love that, right? Like and subscribe. Shout out to Dagan, my man. I appreciate it. You said, and I grill. I'm coming. You don't have to ask me twice. I heard the invitation right there, right? She said, what do you need me to bring? I'll bring the ribeyes. I'll bring whatever you need me to bring. I'll bring it if you're going to cook it. That is not a question, right? I got you. I got you.
Costco run here just to see the kitchen.
I know. She has really good taste. I can't wait till she gets in there and puts it all together.
Cool.
That's going to be exciting. All right, y'all. So let's dig in, because we got some interesting things to do. And then I want to get over to Manatee first, and then we're going to go to Pasco counties and kind of talk about it. We really got some cool stuff. I know Stacy went out to an event that she wants to talk about. Marsha's been sitting on these wonderful communities for 2 weeks now. She's chomping at the bit, but I want to get into numbers. It is July 23rd, and the real estate numbers from June were just released here locally. Okay. And I've shared this before. I know people are like, why does it take so long? Yes, there is up-to-date information, but remember, they put all this information together at one time and share it with us after everything closes, because, depending on where you live, not every local municipality is the fastest to record and document all of these things. Okay. So just takes a little bit of time to shake that out, but we got it. All right, we got the information, and it's an interesting one, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in Pasco County, and then I'm going to work my way south here, and I'm going to try to do this efficiently because I've got a few things I want to share. I'm just going to share the numbers, and then we'll work in reverse from there. Okay, I usually share these with the squad, And I think this is important. So let's get into what's happening here with Tampa Bay real estate, starting with Pasco County. And for those that aren't familiar, Pasco County is the first county north of Hillsborough County, where Tampa proper is. Okay, so the city of Tampa is in Hillsborough. The next county north is Pasco. That's where Stacy is. That's where you're going to find Odessa, Lando Lakes, Wesley Chapel, Zephyr Hills, Holiday, Hudson, Angeline, which we're going to talk about here shortly as well. But I want to get into these numbers because they are interesting. And this thing always looks way smaller on the screen for you guys, but hopefully
that's better. Much better. Thank you.
Get to some numbers we can see. Closed sales. We all know sales have been down. I've been telling you guys about it. I'm not talking about prices. I'm talking about the amount of homes that are selling. Whenever you hear sales, that's how many houses are selling. So in June 23, over 1,000. In June 24, about 930, down 8%. Here's the thing I want to get to, right? With all of that being said, we are still up 3.8% in sales price. So this is the median sales price. That's the middle of the activity. That's what I want you guys to know. That's what median means, the middle of the activity. All right. Up 3.8%, up to $405,000. The average sales price. Okay. So this is, you take the total number of sales, right, divide it by the sales volume, the total sales volume, and that gives you that number, up 5.7% at $457,774. That's important to know. All right. Now, what else is happening? Well, pending sales are down 1.6%. Not much. 15. We're talking about 15 total properties. New listings are up, meaning that inventory is starting to increase. That is important. Well, continuing to increase is what I'll say. When we get to active listings, we're about 2,700 active listings. For that to be a balanced market, meaning like as many buyers and sellers in the market, that's going to need to be somewhere between like 3,500 and like 43, I think, just based upon what I'm seeing take place in the marketplace. So just keep your eye on that. Months of supply, meaning if we didn't list another home in the market, we would run out of homes to sell in 3.2 months. That's what that's saying. All right. Now here's what I want to get into when we talk about that, because we're up. Pasco County, remember what I just said. Pasco County is up in sales. Here's the other thing I want to talk about: distressed sales. All right, because people always ask, well, what about foreclosures and what's happening with that? This is stuff you need to be aware of. Okay, so traditional sales, meaning the a buyer, a seller, no one's under the gun, no one's behind on mortgage payments or anything like that. We just looked at that number, 929. All right. Foreclosures. Here's what I want to bring to the table, right? Because we've been getting phone calls. Hey, we're hearing foreclosures are up. Right. And they'll say, hey, we heard foreclosures are up 100%. I want to talk about that here in a second. We're going to get deep and I'm going to show you some actual stats. But June of 2023, there were 7 foreclosures in all of Pasco County. 7. In June 2024, there were 7, right? Meaning no more foreclosures didn't go up. That's good. You don't want to hear anybody losing their house. Okay. Short sales, we did have 100% increase, or 1,000, or however you want to look at that number. There were 0 short sales last year in 2023, and you had 1 short sale here in 2024. So in terms of overall health of that world, there's not a whole lot happening here. Prices in Pasco County are still increasing year over year, because that's what those numbers are looking at. Inventory is continuing to increase, and you're going to continue to see downward pressure on asking prices. Will that result in sales prices dropping? Only time will tell. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's what's happening up in Pasco County. Now, here's the one that I wanted to share with you guys, because when I looked at this, I had to rub my eyes because I couldn't believe it. All right, and what am I saying here? Here's what I want to get to you. Let me get to the real number, what I want to share with you guys. Okay. This is Hillsborough County, Tampa proper. All right. So where the city of Tampa is, that's in Hillsborough County. Here are the numbers for Hillsborough County. Sales were down 16%. They've been down month over month, and you can see that in that chart that I'm going to show you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for catch me if you do that. If I do that again, please. All right. Let me make it even bigger. Closed sales down 16.2%, from 1,600 to 1,387, almost 1,400 there. Here's the thing I want y'all to see, which is very interesting. The median sales price in Tampa, all right, in Hillsborough County, in Hillsborough County was down 0.8%. Y'all, that hasn't happened since I've been selling real estate in Tampa. That's the first time I've ever seen that median sales price go down. I was like, wow, right? Wow. So like, is that going to be a trend? I don't know. We're going to look at that together. But conversely, this is the thing that always blows my mind. If you look at the average sales price for June 2024, that is up 3.4%. So the middle of the activity, okay, the middle of the activity is actually down in sales price, but the average is up. Now, why is that happening? Well, we're selling more multi-million-dollar homes in Hillsborough County than we ever have before, right? So that's pulling that average up, but the middle of the activity is actually down. So keep that in mind. Again, I haven't seen that in a while, so I'm sharing with you guys the objective truth here. Just the facts, ma'am. Right? Just the facts. I want you guys to see this. Okay, so let me go over to page 10, I think. Let's get the distress sales, right? Same thing we were looking at before with Pasco County. All right, so here's what I want you guys to be aware. When people start throwing around those big old numbers about foreclosures, they're up 30% or they're down 30%. Well, how many? What does that mean? Well, last year in June, Hillsborough County had 10 foreclosures. This year, they're down 30%. 3. Okay. So they had 7 foreclosures in June of 2024. They were down 3 foreclosures from the previous year, 30%. Sounds like a big number when you talk about percentages, but when you look at the reality of it, it's trending in the right direction. But I'm sharing this with you guys because people will run around and use numbers like this to feed the narrative. You always actually have to look at the data for what it is. Is it up? Is it down? Is it trending up? Is it trending down? Those are the things you need to be aware of, right? So when we're looking at this. All right, now let's get into, where the heck are we? We're going to get into Manatee County, which is down where Marcia is hanging out. All right, so for those of you who don't know, that's the county directly below Hillsborough at the south end of the bay. Okay, and when we look at these numbers, sales are down. Everyone's sales are down in the United States. They just revised all the forecasts saying we're going to be down in terms of sales. We already know that. We've been down in sales for 2 years. It's been at decade lows. Thank you, Stacy. It's been at decade lows, so 4.1%. All right, now getting on to the median again. The median sales price, that number is down 518,950 versus 525 last year, down 1.2%. But guess what? When we move over to the average sales price, we went from 678,994 last year to 736, up 8.4%. Now, this is fascinating. Right? This is fascinating. When the median, the middle of the activity is going down, but the average price is going up. Again, this has to do with the amount of multi-million-dollar homes that are selling in the marketplace. Why is it important for you to know? Because remember when they talk about the haves and the have-nots? Y'all know how they keep talking about the haves keep getting more and the have-nots keep getting less? Mm-hmm. This is evidence of that. This is evidence of the affordability crisis. And I can take you to where the activity lies in these communities, and it'll show you. And lastly, I'm going to take you over to Pinellas County, where I live. Again, this is Clearwater, St. Pete. So if you're thinking about those areas, and show you what's happening here. Let's get right into the sales stats. Getting into disclosures first. There we go. Is that big enough, ladies? We good there? One more time. Let's get it nice and big. Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
Closed sales down 10%. We know that's an issue. Median sales price. Now, I don't have good news for anyone here in Pinellas County. And I share this all the time. Listen, man, if you want to live next to a beach, you got to pay for it, right? And it is not inexpensive. And I've shared this many, many times before. Pinellas County is a peninsula on a peninsula in the ocean. Right? Like that's where we are in Pinellas County, but the median sales price. And here's what I want you to know, like, ladies, how many times have we spoke to people and they're like, we're waiting for a better opportunity. We're waiting for the prices to crash or whatever they are. And again, here we are. Marcia, we just showed where Marcia's average sales price went up over $100,000 in a year. right? In Pinellas County, where we live, the median sales price went up $28,000 in a 1 year period. And I'm not sitting here telling you it's going to continue to go up. I just, again, follow the information. I've been telling you guys that a year ago and 2 years ago that prices were not going to fall, even though people were predicting that. The data just didn't say it was. Now, I'm telling you right now, there is downward pressure on pricing in these markets currently. Will that lead to a decrease in prices? I don't know that yet, right? We have to see how the end of the summer and the fall begins here before we're going to know that. But I'm going to tell you guys when that shift occurred or if we're in the middle of it, all right? The other thing, the average sales price, $635 to $668. So again, $32,000 or $33,000 there in terms of what that looks like. Okay, let's go to distressed because that was an important conversation we were just having regarding that, right, ladies? What does distress look like? Well, if you listen to the headlines, we're down 25% on foreclosures. We had 4 foreclosures in June of 2023 and only 3 this year, right? We're down 100% in short sales. Well, it turns out that's only 1, right? So like, be careful when people are throwing around headline news, right? There's an old adage in newspapers, and it says, if it bleeds, it leads, right? And what they're trying to do there is they are trying to convince you that the world is upside down because they need you to click on that article in order for them to sell advertisements so they can keep the doors open. This is how this works, right? So again, and we share this all the time here. I love this. One of my favorite things to share with people who are considering moving to the area is we've got a meteorologist in the area, right, y'all? And his name is Dennis Phillips. And if you're local, you know exactly who I'm talking about. If you're not local, you should follow Dennis because he's awesome. This guy's amazing. He's one of the funnest characters to follow online. I'm going to share him on here on Instagram. You can see him. And Dennis has a rule. And I think it's rule number 7. I don't really care if it's rule number 3 or rule number 7, but Dennis has a rule. And when talking about hurricanes and strong storms and stuff like that, Dennis, oh, here it is. Rule number 7. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. It is rule number 7. And rule number 7 in Dennis's world is, ladies, what is rule number 7? We don't freak out unless who does?
He freaks out.
Unless Dennis freaks out, right? That is his rule. If you live local, y'all, for everyone we've moved down here, if you're watching this right now, go follow Dennis Phillips. If Dennis is freaking out about the weather, you should be too, right? If Dennis is not, it ain't that big of a thing. So I'm going to rock with Dennis here. And why am I sharing this? Because if you are following me and you know us, we're going to share the data. If I'm freaking out about home prices falling, guess who should be? If I'm not, that's right. Right. And if we ain't, you shouldn't be either. Right. So keep that in mind. But be cognizant. Things are changing. There is downward pressure on pricing right now. You need to be aware. This is nationally and here locally. So if you're in Tampa and you're wondering, could this be the peak? It could. Here's the other thing I want you to be aware of. I'm going to pull up the stat here in a minute. I don't have it saved, but I will find it and put it in the resources. It is my understanding, and I'm going to validate this. I don't have this, and once I get it, I will validate it. But I was just going through some information. I was listening to a podcast, and they said that home prices have increased the year following an election over the last 6 presidential terms. And the only time that didn't happen, could anyone guess what year that was? 2009. What was happening in 2009?
Crash. Market
The real
crash.
estate market was melting down, right? So I found that fascinating. All right. So I'm going to dig into that. I heard that on a podcast. I will validate that. Take that one for a grain of salt because Juan didn't get his eyeballs on it. That was hearsay, literally. But I will dig into that just so we know. Okay. Fascinating stuff, right? The sales price is down for the first time that since I've been here looking at real estate. That is the first time. Now the average sales price was up dramatically, but hey, it happened. All right, we have pressure, so just be aware of that. Okay, now let's get into some fun stuff. We got done talking about all the numbers and the nerding out. You guys know me, I love to do that, but we went heavy into that stuff last week. All right, let's go down to Sarasota and Manatee County, and let's find out some of these beautiful kitchens with these pot fillers that you can get, like our wonderful client here, Denise, because those are the beautiful homes. Like I said earlier, I remember like my first home I ever walked into, I was like, man, those people are wealthy.
They got a pot filler.
I just never seen anything like that before. It was a big thing, right? So, all right, Marcia, what do you got for us? Where are we headed?
First, we're going to Waterside to Emerald Landing. And I started talking about last week before I got kicked off the show. But remember how you didn't lose me, but I got lost. I had to rejoin. But I knew that I was going here on Thursday. So I did go. They had a Realtor open house event, and it was wonderful. I love the neighborhood because it's on Kingfisher Lake, right across from downtown Waterside, which is beautiful. And you can walk or ride your bike or take a golf cart, whatever you want to just go out for dinner, go over there and have a couple drinks, listen to music. On Wednesdays, they have the cornhole tournaments. They have food trucks, and there's always something going on there. So I think it'd be a fun place to live. And I like how they have a variety of options for types of homes. They have a 2-story townhouse. They have what are they called? City homes, which is a 3-story townhouse, which is very cool. And then they have cottage style homes and lake series. So the lake series are the largest homes, but you can get anything from a small, cute Florida looking cottage to a really contemporary townhouse. And I went through a few of the models, and it was absolutely, I was wanting to move. So I liked them a lot. And I like the way they're setting up the neighborhood. You can see, like I said, you can see over to Waterside, and just the way they're arranging the different homes, it makes sense. They have a beautiful pool area. I couldn't go into that area while I was there that day because they were there doing some work on it, and they wouldn't let us in. But
somebody was getting delivered, delivery day. See the little bow on the door there. Y'all can't see it, but there's a bow on that door, which means somebody was getting their home. That's always fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See how pretty they are? It's just like it's like a neighborhood, like not an old fashioned, but just different than what you normally see. Oh, and that's the water taxi pickup that you just went by. So they have a water taxi that'll come pick you up. It's one more to the left, one more slide to the left.
Right here.
That dock, see, they'll come pick you up and bring you over to Waterside if you don't want to walk or ride your bike or drive or whatever other type of transportation. But it's a really, really cool place. David Weekley is the builder. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I'm excited to sell something in there to a client. They start like in the 300s, the 2-story condos, but that's just starting. That's not with anything in them. Up into the millions with the homes. Waterside
Place is such an awesome, it's just awesome. I love how it's set up down there. This is ranch nights, right? That's what we're looking at there.
On Wednesdays.
Yeah. Tell them about that real quick, Marcia, before we keep kicking along here.
Oh, that's on the night they close off the streets for cornhole leagues. They have a band, and they have like a large canopy area or roofed area where they have bands during the week. And then the weekends, they just have music both Friday and Saturday night, but it's usually like one person on a guitar, or it might be a saxophone player or something like that. Mm-hmm. But on this Wednesday night, they have, I'd hate to guess, but I'd say at least 10 food trucks. And then they have vendors set up, and it's very fun.
It is. It's beautiful, man. It's a wonderful community. I love that they got the park finished down there too, Marcia. And they also host like a huge cornhole tournament. They're like known for it. They got the bands like Marcia was saying too. It's a beautiful area. It's gorgeous.
It's cool because you can go to the restaurants and get a drink. They'll put them in plastic cups, so you can take them over and just go sit on the sofas or chairs and listen to the bands.
Yeah,
it's a great setup. I was
6 years in a
impressed.
row, it's been voted the #1 master plan community in the country for a reason, y'all.
And like I tell my clients, you know, even if you can't live in Lakewood Ranch, you can still enjoy all these downtown areas and a lot that it has to offer. So it's still worth going to look at and know what's available if you do move to the area.
You had a little walkthrough video here, I think, Marcia, right?
Yeah, I figured we could do that while we were chatting about it, but they were decorated, you know, really well, as most of our builders do. They do a great job with the models, showing how you can live in that home. When you go past the kitchen here, that door right there goes out to a 2-car garage, which was very nice.
That is
And it
super nice.
felt
Is it in the
open.
back?
It didn't feel, you know how some townhouses feel tunnely? It did not have that feeling at all. It felt very open.
So it didn't feel like a shotgun style home, you mean?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
Oh, and look here, when you go up just a couple stairs and the half bath is there. I thought that was cool. So it's, you go up like nice. 3 steps and then there's a half bath and then you go up the rest of the stairs to the 2nd story.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's a great share. And let's say hello while we're going through this video really quick too. John is from Minnesota. Good evening, John. Just got back from Seminole and missing the area. Absolutely, man. Thanks for watching and thanks for connecting with us live. I appreciate that. Mr. Bruce Steamer says, what are your thoughts on Starkey Ranch? Happy to get into that, Bruce. Let's get up into Pasco with Stacy and then we'll cover that for sure. Also, Bruce, I cut a video and answered one of your questions that you left on one of the videos in this Saturday's video. Shout out to you. That's so crazy that he got back on the live stream. But I answered one of your questions in real time, so you're going to see that on the video.
It was not dark in this condo, by the way. I don't know why.
I was wondering what was going on there.
So dark. Pardon?
Yeah, we'll make some adjustments on the phone, but that's cool. This is great, Marshall. Where else are we headed?
I want to talk about Sea Air. I was talking to the sales rep for DRB Homes, which bought out Biscayne Homes. And she said they were going to be opening or planning on opening their sales office in Sea Air by the end of August. So you can definitely see they're now building single family homes and townhomes, but nothing's open yet as far as being able to get inside and see them. So I'm excited about that. Sea Air is going to be our
Lagoon community.
Lagoon, yeah, sorry. Lagoon community. It's over 1,500 acres, and it has a 4-acre lagoon, and it's going to have over 300 or 3,000 homes. I'm sorry. So that's exciting. It's going to be cool.
I'm so glad you just shared. Sorry, Marcia. I'm so glad you just shared with us that DBR bought out Biscayne, because I was like, that's a Biscayne home. Like, when I looked at that last week, I was like, what? Oh, who is DBR, by the way? And I was trying to figure all that out. I'm like, what is happening right now? And now it all makes sense, because I mean, they have my favorite floor plans. I'm like, I've been in these houses. I know what houses those are, right?
Yeah. Well, it is exciting. So they'll be the first to open in there, but they're also going to have Lennar, DR Horton, and Dream Finders. And Biscayne are now DRB, and Dream Finders are new to our area. So it'll be fun to have a new builder in the area.
I just want everybody to take note of what is in this property. What do you see in the kitchen?
The pot filler.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's
pretty
right.
backsplash.
See?
Yeah.
See? Oh, that's why I'm excited.
High
I'm going to be known
class.
I'm the pot filler guy from now on. That's what's going to happen in my world.
I wonder how often I would actually use it. Probably not very. As I told John, I don't cook all that much. It'd be cool to have. Oh, I love that kitchen. That was nice.
Yeah, especially if you if you cook pasta or anything regularly where you're using a pot like that, that's awesome.
Having to lift something like that.
And I love that too. That's really nice. Y'all hear the thunder booming outside? Okay, beautiful. Where else we headed, Marcia?
I wanted to bring up two communities in Lakewood Ranch, Monterey and the Isles. They're both by Toll Brothers. They're a wonderful builder here in the area. The Isles has been around for quite a while, and they only have like 20 lots left in the Isles. But now the Toll Brothers has started the Monterey, which is a little bit further out in Lakewood Ranch. They're a lot alike, the two communities. The only difference is that the aisles, you get your yard maintained or, the lawn maintained, whereas in Monterey, you do not. So that's about the only difference. Otherwise, the style and stuff is a lot alike. They build some beautiful homes. They start in Monterey. They're starting in the 700s and going up into the millions. Starting at like 2,500 square feet and going up to over 5,000 square feet. So there's some big homes there.
Love it. And
Becca, they're nice size communities. They both have about 400. One has 400, one has 450. So it's a good community and they're both in awesome locations right by waterside. So they're a good option if you're looking for a larger home.
Love it. Love it. Those are great areas, Marcia. And thank you for sharing. There's some beautiful communities down there. These things just live a little bit different, guys. If you have more questions about how these areas live, don't hesitate to reach out to me and the team, okay? Because they are different, right? Pasco County is different than Hillsborough. Hillsborough is different than Pinellas. They all have a different value prop, so to speak, right? Like what is the thing? And everything is not for everyone. And we've learned this wholeheartedly. As of today, we've had 229 Zoom calls with people just like you who are considering relocating the area or who live here locally and want to make a move. That's a lot. We get a lot of questions. And, our primary focus is always about people's lifestyles, because at the end of the day, we're showing you lots and lots of homes. Not everywhere in America has new home construction. Trust me, we just visited the Carolinas and Northern Michigan. That's not a thing. If you're building a house, you bought land and you hired a custom builder to do it. But down here we have production builders and semi-custom and fully custom builders and just beautiful communities from ranging all the way up to Ocala. We don't serve that far north, but I mean, that far north down into obviously Manatee and Sarasota counties where Marcia is. So again, what is your ideal lifestyle? That is always our primary focus, and it most certainly should be yours because finding you a home is not the difficult part. Getting you in the right community is the most important thing that you and your team can do. Right. So we're here to help you with that. So if you've got questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out about that. And Stacy's getting ready to take us up north in Pasco County. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. Some cool stuff happening. I want to say hello to everyone chiming in late. And if you're watching late, feel free to put a comment in after this has been the live has ended. This will live in YouTube and you can ask questions and leave a comment. I answer all legitimate comments in there. Also, all of the contact information for our team is in there as well. Usually I'm running across the screen like that, but I forgot the entire time. Feel free to call us. That number goes directly to this phone right here, y'all. So you got access to me and the team. Feel free to connect there. But there is a link to my calendar where you can actually schedule a Zoom call that is most convenient for you. So just know we're here to help. Our goal here is not to sell people on anything. No one should. This is your dream. This is your life. This is your journey. We're here just to be the guide. So happy to help you guys do that. All right. Bridget says, Mrs. Weiss says, hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. I love it. Tuning in from Georgia. Good evening, Miss Bridget. And hello to Georgia as well. Our neighbors to the north. Excited for that. John Green says, are pests and bugs a big problems in homes down there? Is insurance more? I think that's supposed to say more expensive there. John, I'm sure that you've got the Siri challenge that I always have too. I try to tell it one thing and it spells another. I don't know what's happening. but I think I got you right. So he asked two great questions here. Are the pests and bugs big problems in homes down there? Marcia, why don't you take this in the first part of the question, and then Stacy,
Okay.
let you take the second part of the question.
Okay, before you do that though, Juan, your ticker says Metro Detroit.
Oh, let me get the right one. Okay. Even better. So for those of you that don't know, I have a real estate team back home in Metro Detroit, where I'm from originally. I have a partner and an agent that work up there also. But that's not the one you want. You want this one. This is the one you want. Shout out to you. Stacy's on it tonight. She is dialed in.
She's a producer.
That's right. And she's doing an excellent job. She needs a raise, apparently. Do the rake. I love that. That's fantastic. So there's the correct website and the correct phone number. So Marcia, go ahead and take the
John,
first.
I would say bugs are not a problem as long as you keep it, you have a proactive approach. Most people have the outside of their homes anyway sprayed like quarterly. You can also ask the person that sprays to come inside. We don't always do that, but once, I don't know, maybe once or twice a year, we'll have them come spray inside the home as well. We haven't had a bug problem at all. We moved here from Georgia, and I would say it was we had more of a problem there than we ever have here. I haven't had a problem here. But I do think it's because we have the bug company that comes in. And I do recommend that to all of our clients, not only for normal bugs and pests, but for termites. You know, that's also something you want to make sure you keep an eye out for in Florida. So also recommend that. So that's my 2 cents on bug control.
Amen. Preach. Love it. Same experience for us. You will, in new construction developments, see more activity early on in the developments. And that is because the ground and the earth and everything around it is getting moved, literally. Mm-hmm. Right. So the further along the development goes, typically that activity starts to subside. Right. Everything gets displaced, so to speak, and it goes elsewhere. But I have had clients tell me, like, you know, especially the earlier adopt, like, hey, we're the first ones into the first 3 lots. And there is more activity there from time to time. That's not going to be every case, but I have had clients who are early in the phase say those types of things. But in the more established neighborhoods, I don't hear anybody saying anything about it. So just sharing that with you, John, just the interest of transparency on that one. Stacy, is insurance more expensive there? Okay. Now, relative to where, we're going to need to know that. We're going to need to know that. But just generally speaking, Florida is the most expensive homeowners insurance in the country. So that's the easy part. But Stacy, can you share with John, like, what you're seeing up in Pasco County in terms of homeowners insurance on maybe new construction versus resale, just in general?
Yeah, new construction is definitely less expensive. We're seeing some insurance quotes coming in like around $1,200 to $1,500 a year.
Insanely low.
Yeah, which is a huge difference from, you know, a couple of years ago. I'm sure you heard we were in the news about no one could afford homeowners insurance here, but things are getting better. We are getting more homeowners insurance companies coming back into the state. So hopefully we keep seeing those prices go down. Now for resale, it's probably going to be more expensive, or it is more expensive than a new home, just because, you know, the home isn't maybe built up to the latest codes as a new construction home is, and everything's new. So it would be less expensive. I guess your risk is less on a new construction versus a resale.
Generally speaking.
Yes.
Right. Everything is subject to with everything, but I think that's good advice. So thank you, ladies, for answering that. That's awesome. Hopefully, John, that helps a little bit. Again, we need to go deeper. We need to talk about the specific location areas. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Happy to help you with that when or if the time comes, my man. We're here to be a resource, so just let us know. Do not hesitate to reach out. Okay, Stacy, let's head up to Pasco County. I know you've been chomping at the bit to get up there too. And me too. I was like, oh, I couldn't make it because it was like catch up day from my vacation on everything. But talk to us about what is happening up in Angeline.
Well, before I go to Angeline, I have to make a correction. I made a mistake last Tuesday on our live when we were talking about Two Rivers. We were talking about Pulte announcing their floor plans and their prices. Well, they did announce a new community, which is right outside Two Rivers, called Riverwood. So I saw Riverwood and thought that was the name of the village, because, you know, there's Two Rivers is the community, and then each builder has their own village. So I was assuming that was their little village in Two Rivers. But thank you to Carly, one of our great viewers. reached out to me and was asking me questions, and I looked into it and I was like, you're right, that is the community that's right outside Two Rivers. So I did find out, however, that Pulte, they are expecting Two Rivers, the village in Two Rivers, to be more expensive than Riverwood. And
Got
it
it.
probably start in that mid 500 range.
So shout out to Stacy for calling herself out. Can you hear that?
I'm sure you've been waiting to use that.
I use it on me all the time. This is great. But shout out to Stacy for calling herself out. Give her a round of applause. That's right. That's a round
Thank you to the wonderful viewer who reached out to me, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have caught it till a couple of weeks down the road.
Yeah.
And Carly's been on it. And forgive us, y'all. Listen, these ladies and Dennis, who's not here yet, I'm going to introduce you guys soon, are in a plethora. Okay. And what that means is a lot of developments and neighborhoods and villages and whatever else they're calling them on and that marketing arm, with names that intertwine. It's every 6 ways from Sunday, right? So like, thank you for being stand up and calling yourself out, and give us some grace. I promise you we will get you to the correct information. We didn't have to do that. I love the fact that you called yourself out there, Stacey. Thank you. That's fantastic.
Lesson learned. I'll be double checking and triple checking next time.
On it. All right. So let's talk about Angeline. Let's head up to Pasco County. So let me pull up the map to give everybody a little frame of reference, what I'm referring to here. All right, Pasco County is the county, like I said before, directly north of Hillsborough County, which is where Tampa is. That's Tampa proper. And if we head due north, essentially on the northwest side here of Tampa, we're going to run into this new development community called Angeline. Okay. From drive time, let's just talk about that really quick, Stacy, before we move on, because that's always great to give people perspective, right? If we go to Tampa, drive time from Angeline to Tampa. Downtown. This is downtown Tampa, by the way. 38 minutes right now. 38 minutes. That is awesome.
Yeah, what's great about this location is that you're right there by the Suncoast Parkway. So you can hop on the toll and you got easy access into downtown.
How awesome is that? Very, very nice. Okay, so let's get up in Angeline. What is Angeline, Stacy? Let's give these people some context.
Yeah, we've been like waiting for years for this. We've been talking, hearing everyone talk about it in the county, but Angeline is a 6,200 acres in Pasco County and Land O'Lakes, actually. And it is right off Highway 52. It's in between Highway 41 and the toll road, Suncoast Parkway. But it is a unique community because 60% of the land is going to be preserved to support the natural beauty of Florida, which I know Juan has talked a lot about Odessa, how he feels like they did a great job building the community around the natural beauty of Florida. So this community is going to have 78% of their home sites are going to be backed up to conservation or pond. Or
that's awesome.
Both. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Angeline will also have a farm within the community. It's a small 1 acre farm, and they're going to, it's called market farming. Have you ever heard of that?
I have not. Why don't you tell us about it?
It's where they grow high volume of produce in a small area, and it's all maintained by hand or with minimal equipment. So it's not officially like certified organic, but they are going to use all organic practices and sustainable growing methods. So they're going to grow vegetables, fruits, flowers, and herbs.
So the moral of the story is what I just heard, is they are going to have a communal garden in the community here in Angeline. Yep. Does that sound right? Look at vegetables right there. Love that.
It's going to be professionally managed. So
nice.
like a company that's going to come in.
Yeah.
And
So it's not a co-op where we're out doing the work for each other there,
Right.
but there will be a local, literally a local farm where you can go get produce from, which is awesome. I think that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah. And they're
That's
going to have,
fantastic. And that's one place, but tell us more. But wait,
well, they're
there's
going to have
more.
like educational events there for the community. And they're going to have like family friendly events there too. And they have a cafe there where they're going to sell, you know, some of the produce, like the canned produce and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, it's really nice.
And the cafe is open already, FYI.
Yes.
Dennis has been in there recently as well. So we'll get you guys more info on this. Trust me, I will be out here documenting this. You'll hear all about it because I'm excited about it too. And I'll let Stacy continue and I'll tell you why I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, and they're hosting already. A cafe is hosting an event every 2 weeks there on Saturday. So if you want to go check that out, feel free and tell us.
Wild Time. Yeah, so the cafe's name is called the Wild Time. Here's their menu, y'all. You want to take a quick peek? So they've got breakfast over there, paninis, pizza, shareable snacks. Looks like artichoke dip, charcuterie board, pretzel sticks, those types of things. There is a kids menu, including chicken tenders like we talked about earlier, grilled cheese and Uncrustables. Oh yeah, ain't nobody got time for crust, right? Desserts, and then you can see the soda beverages and coffee as well. White and red wine, sparkling wine, a little prosecco. Go about your evening there. I like that. Ciders and seltzers and beer. Nice. Okay, cool. What else, Stace? Keep talking.
Also in the community, they are going to have there's going to be schools within the community. So this year, Angeline Academy of Innovation is going to open up. It is a STEM school, so it is part of Pasco Pathway School Choice. It's a magnet school, and they have a focus on like you have certain pathways that your kid can choose to take classes in to graduate. Mm-hmm. So they have like a bio design program. They have cybersecurity, engineering and robotics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning and entrepreneurship. And that is for middle school and high school right now. They also have plans to open an elementary school.
Okay. I wish they would have had things like that when I was in school.
Yeah.
I just think it sounds so interesting especially in high school when you don't know really what you want, or most people don't, to be able to try different things like that, take classes. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think Pasco does a great job by offering some of those classes for kids to take in high school before they have to go to college and pick a major. Mm-hmm. So some of the schools, they have certain focus like computer science. You can take special computer science programs like at one school. Not all the schools offer that. So that would be one reason why you may want to do school choice, because your kid is into computer science and one school has more focused classes in that area.
So do you have to go to that school, Stacy, or can you go to that school for that one class?
You have to go to that school.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yep. And so this community is also going to be unique because they are going to have regional parks and trails within the community. So right now they have 40 miles of trails ready to go, but their goal is to get over 100 miles of planned trails. And it's going to connect to other regional trail systems and nature preserves.
It's awesome.
And they're going to plan on having sports fields and boardwalks and like campsites. It's really going to be cool. This is also a lagoon community. So the size, they didn't tell us what size it's going to be, but she did imply that they've already, like Wesley Chapel had the first lagoon, and San Antonio has the largest lagoon. So they've been there, done that, and they don't plan on, going one up. So I feel like it is going to be smaller than Murata, but a lagoon's lagoon.
Somewhere between South Shore Bay, which is like 5.5 acres, and Murata, which is 15, right? Ultimately is what it'll end up being. That's great. This is wonderful. And if you've never been to one of the lagoons, they are very impressive to say the least. The amenities, swim up bars, cafe, outdoor events. They do screenings of sports events. It's fantastic. It is a whole thing. We've done many videos on the lagoon. So if you have more questions, feel free to reach out to that. All-Star Life, I'm going to be coming to questions, just so you know. Bruce, we're going to get back to your question about Starkey Ranch as well. And Bridget, I will cover yours also once Stacy wraps up sharing what's going on up in Angeline. Go ahead, Stace.
Yeah, so there's also going to be a town center in Angeline community. So there's going to be 4 million square feet of office, dining, and entertainment. And across the street, or right next to Angeline, is where the Moffett Research Center is going to be.
Yeah,
so,
and this is awesome. Go ahead.
It's just amazing. Like, it's a total game changer for this area, Pasco County. It's going to bring so many jobs and opportunities.
And education, right?
Yeah.
So like, man, this gets, I get fired up as a resident. I don't live in Pasco County. I live in Pinellas, y'all. But like, knowing that this is the type of thing that our state and the Bay is attracting is phenomenal, right? The Moffett Cancer Center is amazing. They save so many lives, y'all. Like, I'm always a huge proponent of anybody doing good in the world, right? And the Moffett Cancer Center is an incredible, just an incredible resource in terms of, from a medical perspective. People fly in from all over the country to be treated at Moffett, which is incredible, right? When you think about that, what a resource. And now they're opening up a 775-acre Global Innovation Center. This is a research center where they're going to be focused on cures and treatments for cancer. And listen, guys, I'm not a rocket scientist, nor am I a researcher, and I don't play either one of those on YouTube. I am grateful for the people who have dedicated their lives to and are passionate about solving these problems, right? I've lost family to cancer. I think most of us have been touched by it in some way, shape, or form. I'd be shocked if your family hasn't. God bless you, but most people have. So I'm a huge fan of this, number one. Number two, this is bringing researchers in, right? Researchers to the area, which means, again, high income, right? And people who, get to live in the community and be part of the Bay. And like, it's not so we can use them. It's just understanding when you can attract, researchers and scientists, that is a wonderful thing to be able to put on your belt, right? And the other thing that I recognize too is researchers and scientists aren't going to put up with lackluster education systems, right? Pasco has already been known as one of the forefront, in terms of like leading in education in Florida. They rank above the average in the state, which is great, right? We're trying to get out of that. And if I sound passionate, I am, because this is awesome, right? This is going to attract great teachers and just what a wonderful thing to add to your community, for goodness sake. Like, the ability to be able to contribute to the good of society by just working towards eliminating a disease that is just hideous. I'm grateful for it. So like, that's my pitch. Like I said, if I sound fired up, I am. I'm excited, right? Like, a research facility that is out to do good in your community is a blessing, y'all. That's a blessing. So I'm excited. We've already had Zoom consultations with researchers who have to be here. February is the dates that people have to start arriving. How cool, right? So Stacy, didn't mean to jump in there and interrupt. I just wanted to share my passion for this project. I think I'm so grateful, and I'm proud, right? I'm proud too. So back to you.
Yep, it's amazing. So the builders that are coming into Angeline, Lennar was the first builder in. They were doing an active adult community, so they've been there for a little while now. And then Lennar and D.R. Horton has been in there building townhomes. So the single family homes, I know everyone has been waiting to find out when they are going to start building single family homes. So Lennar and D.R. Horton are going to be building there. Lennar is already building their spec homes currently, so it should be pretty soon that they're going to open up some models and start pre-selling. D.R. Horton is thinking, there's nothing officially has been announced, but they're kind of giving us the impression that it will be towards the end of September, October, when they start opening models, or at least giving us some more information, I guess I should say.
Okay.
And then the big news is the luxury builder coming in there is going to be Dreamfinder's Home, which is actually new to Tampa Bay. I know he did mention they had a community down in Lakewood Ranch and in Parrish, so Marcia may know some information about the builder, but they're based in Jacksonville, and they are going to start pre-selling in August through December. They're going to offer 5 floor plans, and they're going to range in size from like 2,600 to 4,000 square feet. They are all going to have 3-car garages. They will start in that mid to 650 range, and their model should be open by the end of Halloween. All their home sites will be 60 feet by 120, and they are all conservation or ponds.
Nice.
So they'll have 125 home sites for their first phase. And the sales rep there kept mentioning over and over again, he couldn't tell exactly what it was going to be, but he kept saying they are going to be offering huge, huge, huge builder incentives in the first phase.
Well, look at this. I mean, they're in Tampa, they're offering a 2.99% interest rate, 3% interest rate, y'all. I'm saying that in 2024. It does say in this very small print below that you can't read, that I can. It says applies to select quick move-in, see sales page event for details, which means the home is ready to go and they need to sell it, right? So like that, but regardless of that, that's incredible. Yeah. So great share on that, Stacy. A lot more to come on Angeline, y'all. We're going to go deep here. I'll do an entire full-length video on this, and then I will keep you up to date on this project as it goes along. This is going to take a few years to get through, obviously. We will get you guys more information as the time comes. I'm a huge fan of this community. I'm excited to share it with y'all. Let's get into these questions real quick before we move along here. John asked a question. Krista asked a question. This is great. Krista says, I want to move to Tampa, but I'm really scared I'm going to run into an alligator somewhere. Are they all over the place? Marsha, I'll let you take that.
No, they're not. It's funny because yesterday when I was showing clients from Oregon, they kept asking me questions about alligators. And I've lived here 10 years. I've seen one alligator that was out of place, like not that was in a parking lot, but it was right next to a fresh body of water. Otherwise, you see them from far away. You know, it's just not a big deal. They're a long ways away, minding their business, usually sunning in a lake. So I would say you don't have to worry about it at all and come on down.
Just don't walk around the ponds. You don't walk around the ponds. You don't walk your dog around the ponds. And I'm the same. I've seen one time I saw an alligator out of place, and he was just moving from one pond to the other, and he was just crossing the road, and traffic stopped and let him cross.
Casual day in Florida, y'all. That's fantastic. I don't think that helped the case at all, but hey, this is real life. Welcome to live YouTube, man. This is how we roll here. So that's great. All right, Stacy, this is for you also. Bruce asked the question, what are your thoughts on Starkey Ranch? I've given my thoughts on Starkey Ranch many times, and you even mentioned that tonight too, but what are your thoughts on Starkey Ranch?
Yeah, I mean, Starkey Ranch is a highly sought after community because there's so much to offer there. I mean, They have lots of trails, and it's just beautiful there. Beautiful. They have a school within that community as well. So yeah,
it is an outstanding community. You're not going to be disappointed over there. Okay, let me get to some other questions here. I'm just trying to do some pre-reading. All Star Life says Ashley Boulevard, they are building a new building right on the river. I think he's referring to Angeline specifically, or she. Thank you for that. No alligators in my backyard. That's the question. Denise said while we were talking about love it. Of course, she said, I'm going to boil water every day just so I can use my pot filter. And she's got Taylor Morrison home, so she's got gas, right? So she's got a gas range over there, doesn't she? She's not electric. Oh, now we need to know, Denise.
I can't remember if it's gas over there or not.
I can't either. But maybe I'm speaking out of pocket, but I'm pretty sure she's got gas. All right. Let me see here. The Ashley Drive, the building on Ashley Drive will not be completed till yeah, exactly. We're a few years long on this project. There's no doubt. Kiara says that is amazing. Totally understand. Wild Time, is that related to Wild Fork? No, I think they're independent of each other. The original Wild Fork, I think, is down in South Tampa. Don't quote me on that, though. All right, so Bridget Weiss, hello again, Bridget, says, our family is considering moving to the area. We visited 2 weeks ago for the first time. What is the best way to determine if a property is in a flood zone and to get sinkhole history? Thanks. Okay. So if you're buying a resale, a previously owned home, you can go to, there is a sinkhole map. And I know this because I have shown it on our videos in the past. Let me see if I can find it in real time with you guys. I don't have it saved on my desktop. If I have it, I'm going to share it with you now. No, I don't. But I have it. I will put it in the description after this video ends, Bridget. You can look. It's an interactive sinkhole map. You can see them all over the state of Florida. It's great. Okay, so I'll share that. If I forget, please go in the comments and remind me. I promise you I will deliver that to you. Okay. All right, so I'll get that to you. That's number one on the sinkholes. Number two, the best way to determine whether a property is in a flood zone or not is you ask your realtor. So if you need help with that, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to do that. If you're looking at new construction developments, a lot of the new communities are out of flood zones. They raise the elevation in some of these areas to get to that point. They also have to do geological studies before they ever build on these properties to make sure the ground is stable. There's a lot of different factors that contribute to that, but hopefully that kind of helps with some of this. So new construction, again, lower insurance because you're usually in a non-flood zone. There are homes that can be in a flood zone. Again, a lot of these properties that back up to water, but even those, the home is typically above that floodplain, and the water leading up to it might be in something. So this is going to be property specific. You really kind of have to get, you do have to get in the weeds here, right? So having a guide to walk you through it is helpful. That can be us or anybody else. My encouragement is that you get a professional to help you through it, especially when we're talking about Florida real estate, y'all. This is not like buying real estate in an area where nothing happens. Like, you've got crazy insurances to deal with. If you don't set yourself up correctly, you can really put yourself in harm's way. We don't want to see anybody do that. But if not, you can navigate this pretty easily. Okay, so there's both sides of the coin here. All right, Kiara says, Stacy and I toured Murata Lagoon. It was beautiful. Agreed. That place it's like Wally World. It's nuts. John says, is buying a place for an Airbnb feasible in the area? Yes. What area, John? We just need to know what. We got to get more specific. Anything with HOAs is going to be more restrictive by nature. A lot of the communities and counties have rules and regulations about it. Pasco County is 30 days. So, you have to look at that. I also have access to that information also here in Pinellas County. So just let us know what area and we can be happy to give you some advice on that. Okay. Stacy, this one's for you.
Hey guys, any word on when the new phase in Wood Creek will be opening up in Wesley Chapel? I know it's pretty close. They only have a few more lots available in phase one. So I was over there probably 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to remember what Chris said. It looked like they were still developing the roads and stuff. So yeah, I'll follow up with my guy over there and try to get some more information. But I was thinking he was said at the end of the year.
Makes sense. When I was in there 8 weeks ago, it was very, the roads were just kind of cracking open there. So it's interesting. Not wonders though. Good evening. Because he started with howdy, or she started with howdy. Love that. Great question here. I'm looking at moving to Tampa from the Pacific Northwest, PNW, for those of you that don't know. Florida seems great for the most part. My two main hobbies are rock climbing and snowboarding. What can I do to replace these? What a really good question.
Yeah.
All right. So shout out to you. That's a great question. And I don't know how long you've been on their live stream or not, but the dinner we had, Marcia and I with clients, they moved from Oregon. So they were from Portland, and a lot of activity, doing a lot of things. And now they have fallen in love with beach time, bike riding, running. There actually is, I know you guys are going to laugh when I say this, but there's a really cool mountain biking course out in near Lithia. And there's a great BMX course out there too. So, there are things to do. Boating, paddle boarding, skimboarding. There's a lot of activities there that you can get into also. There's the rock climbing places locally indoors that you can still have access to. Lifetime Fitness has some of that stuff, and there's other things like that. But this is just a great question because it is going to be a different lifestyle, right? It's just part of it. So like, what a great question. Thank you for letting us know where you're watching from, and thank you for this awesome question. But outdoor is not the problem. Outdoor, if you're used to being outdoor, like most of the people we've run into in the Pacific Northwest, outdoor here is going to be a big part of your life also. But the activities will change. That is for sure. So thank you. That's an awesome question. Michael says, thank you. You're welcome. Kiara says, I also met with Derek. Thanks for connecting me. I have so many decisions to make. You're welcome. And Derek is awesome. Shout out to my brother, Derek. That is fantastic. That is his backyard. Happy to help there. I know Stacy made that connection for you. So, you're in great hands, man. Whoever gets hired, who hires these ladies here, right? Marcia, Stacy, or Dennis, who is not a lady, but he's not with us tonight. Y'all are in outstanding, capable hands. I just need you to know that. Okay. I'm proud of them. I'm proud to be associated with these ladies. They make me look way better than I actually am. I am just the person who smiles and gets on camera, and they are the ones actually out there making sure that you all have a wonderful real estate experience. So we're grateful to have them, and I'm grateful for them. Right. Sands Clan. Hey, bro. Love Florida. Tampa is amazing. Agreed. Good evening from Geneva, Iowa. Good evening, Geneva. That's a little ways off. JP said, I recently took a vacation to Florida. It was my third time there. I'm very much in love with the climate and vibe I feel in Florida. What is the best advice for moving to Florida from Canada? This is such a good one. We could all answer it a different way. But I'm going to give you the real quick and skinny. If you're considering like making it a full-time move, you need to have your visa in place or your citizenship. You need to get all that done ahead of time because it seems to be a lengthy process for all of the people that reach out to us. That is not just a 2 or 3 month thing. That is typically like a 6 to 12 month thing is what we're seeing for people that are doing that. If you can be sponsored by an employer here, makes your time go by way faster. Okay, way faster. So that'll give you access. And make that process go a lot smoother. Feel free to reach out to us, JP. Contact information is on the screen. If you go to our website there, you can actually schedule a Zoom call directly with us. Happy to have those conversations. I actually have some good resources that my Canadian peers have shared with me, so I can share back with you guys about attorneys and visas and those types of things. So I'm not the foremost resource. I don't handle immigration, but our clients have been having success that way. The other way to do that is that you buy a second home here or an investment property here. And then, of course, you can make the transition as long as you have your passport for however long the Canadian government allows you to before they hit the reset clock on all of your benefits. So what is that, Marcia? It's like 4 months or something, isn't it?
I thought it was 7 months, but I'm not sure. I know I have clients that do it. I don't know for sure.
Yep. And we don't want to give. You need to hear it directly from the horse's mouth, not from us.
They know exactly that. It's usually they know a date. Like they come down here and they all have. We have to be back by September 2nd. You know, they know exactly how long it is, but I don't remember the timeline.
Yeah, they know the deal. Not Wanderers, though, says thank you. You're welcome. You are absolutely welcome. And great question. We appreciate that. JP says, thank you so much. I'm thinking of getting a business visa and acquire an established business. That is the cheat code. That is for sure the cheat code because there's a certain dollar amount that they require you to invest in that business. And once you do that, the visas tend to go a lot faster. Shocker, right? Money makes things move. Are you ladies surprised?
Not at all.
Not at all. All right. Jim says another great show. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for keeping us informed on all things Tampa. You are welcome.
Thank you,
it's
Jim.
These ladies. It's all them. They're the ones doing the work. Who did the work here tonight? I'm just the host here. Just connecting.
I did it all. No, Juan does it. We assist, but Juan does it.
No. All right. What's D.R. Horton's earnest deposit requirement? Michael, it depends on what community and how strong the amenities are going. I got an email this week that said they were taking only 3.5% down on FHA and 3%, I think, on conventional. Don't quote me on that, but it was low. Usually it's been 10% for 4 years. And now because inventory is starting to rise in new developments, they're wheeling and dealing. So incentives are great. I just showed you guys a 2.99% interest rate. Again, that was for select homes. Make sure you read the bottom line. Stacy and Marcia know this, right? We did see 4.75 in a Lennar community last week. You're going to continue to see more of this. And looking at the tea leaves here, I do think interest rates are going to lower a little bit more before the end of the year. I don't think we're going to be down to like 5%, but the builders are going to get aggressive. What they're doing is they're buying down that interest rate. They didn't just come up with some magic bank to do this. They're prepaying interest on your behalf to sell these houses. That's how that works, just so everybody knows how the math goes. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Yes, you're welcome. Michael, reach out. We're here, man. Contact information is down below. When this live wraps up, you'll see it there. But if you go to the website, TB Home Search, that's Tampa Bay, right? tbhomesearch.com. You'll see there that you can schedule a call with me and the team. Send us an email, whatever works best for you guys. Phone number goes directly to this phone. I know we went long tonight, really long tonight. Ladies, thanks for powering through. You had excellent information. I mean, the Angeline community is unbelievable. And then you've got the #1 master plan community for 6 years running down in Lakewood Ranch that Marcia loves to sell and loves to be part of. We are grateful to serve. I'm here in Pinellas County on the beaches. Shared with you guys, you know, one of the burger joints we explored tonight. We are happy to continue to do this. We will be back next Tuesday at 7 p.m. as always. This Saturday, we'll have another video launch. We're actually answering questions from the comment sections in YouTube because you guys have so many great questions. So that's going to be a good one. Bruce Steamer, one of your questions is getting answered because I went through that today. But we're excited for that. Y'all, we just love to serve our community, and we're extremely grateful to you, the audience that has trusted us. 229 Zoom calls as of July 23rd. That is mind-blowing. Thank you for trusting us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you and your family. We are grateful. Ladies, any final words before we sign off this evening?
Thank you. It was a great night. And I'm actually going to miss you next week. I'm going to be out of town because my daughter's getting married. So I'm sure Marcia will do fabulous. She'll keep Juan in line, I'm sure.
I'll have to take over your job of reminding him when he doesn't put up the new page on the screen.
That's right. That's right. She does it on our Zoom calls too, because I'll be
We
doing
need
that.
to have
Like,
little
it's up
signs,
there.
and so we don't have to interrupt them. I'll make them for next week.
I love it. I love it. That's great. And you, the audience, you guys are amazing as always. And we just can't thank you enough. And we always say it every single episode. We're going to say it tonight. And as always, go out and
Live that
live
Tampa
Tampa
life.
life.
All right, y'all.
Bye,
Have a blessed
everybody.
evening.